All right. What is up? Hey guys. We have a guest here right now. We have Anthony. Of course, we're just gonna be hanging out for a bit for now and just have fun. Have a chill Monday night before we start the week. Okay. So yeah, how are you, Anthony? What's up? What's up? What's up?
I'm doing very well, my friend Dex. Doing very well. It's starting to get very cold here in Sydney, in Australia. But
All right. What is up? Okay. Hey
Yes.
guys. I'm picking up your speaker here.
Yes, okay. Sorry about that.
All right. Okay. It's weird really listening to your own voice sometimes. I feel weird listening to
Yeah,
my voice. Okay. Anyway, we have John Galpo here, Titanium Gaming. What's up? What's up? We'll just wait for some other people to come. And if we have enough people, we're gonna run some, of course, giveaway, guys. So it's gonna be nice. It's been a while. I know, guys. It's been a while since we did something like this, since we did a live stream like this. And of course, we decided to do this just because me and Anthony, we were talking about the general space crypto nowadays. And as we know, everything is almost red right now. Crypto wise, portfolio wise, lots of portfolios are turning red right now. And we're gonna ask Anthony what he thinks about this situation we have right now. So yeah, Anthony, before we start, of course, before we talk about those kind of stuff, hello Don, hello Carl, hello John. If you could just like our stream and share it with other people, that would help us a lot. It would be amazing. And call out our friends. It's been a while. So yeah. Yeah. Anthony, could you tell us a little bit about, yourself before we start with
sure.
crypto stuff?
Thanks, Dex, for the invite. Also, lovely to be here with you. So, I'm the founder and CEO of a company called BitFans, guys. So, BitFans is basically a company that helps brands go from Web 2 to Web 3. So when we say Web 3, we're talking about everything involving cryptocurrency, the blockchain, NFTs, the metaverse, DAOs. Web 3 is becoming a very big mega trend for the world, and it's going to take over. In my opinion, it's going to become a complete changer. It's going to change the world in a very meaningful way. So we are at a point in the journey where it's not at the mainstream yet, but that is changing very fast. And when you watch the biggest brands in the world experiment with NFTs or create DAO-based communities, you just can see how amazing the transformation is right now. So that's basically what BitFans does, guys. Dex, we are a Web 2 to Web 3 launchpad agency. We work with influencers, businesses, brands, basically anybody who has built up a community or a follower base and who wants to start taking advantage of Web3 technologies.
Yeah. That's one thing I've been curious about starting way back with crypto. How is this Web3 gonna affect the real world? And talking about influencers, talking about communities, how does this affect, the relationship, the dynamics between, let's say, an influencer or somebody who is, not just in crypto, but outside crypto as well, right? They could still be using crypto even if their topic is not mainly crypto. So, Anthony, how did you get involved with crypto to begin with?
Yeah, so my last roles was within the technology industry. So I was working for a SaaS company, basically, and I had a good friend of mine who's a software engineer, and he kept talking to me about crypto. Every time we would catch up, he'd talk to me about something DeFi this or NFT gaming that, and maybe after about the third time he mentioned it to me over a dinner, I just thought, what, I'm going to look into this a bit seriously. And when I started looking into it, I thought, wow, okay, blockchain, I'm starting to understand why this is really interesting. I got to look more into this because I think this public database that we can all access and interact from, that's pretty interesting. Then I found out about tokens, and I thought, okay, I think everything can be turned into a token over time. Brand communities, property, artwork, whatever it might be. So I really fell down the crypto rabbit hole maybe around 1.5, 2 years ago from now. So I haven't been in the game long, if you will. But I must admit, the last year and a half, 2 years has been 7 days a week. I've gone in deep, very deep down the rabbit hole. I'm like 20 feet deep underground now. So it's been a very fun last 1.5, 2 years. But that's kind of how I got in. I had a software dev mate who kept talking to me about it. Then I looked into it off the back of that and haven't turned back since.
So when when you took a look at crypto, what's the number one thing that made you say, all right, my friend who's been talking about this, it's about time. What's that number one thing that made you say, all right, crypto is something that I should know about?
Do you know what it was, Dex? The trigger was he was talking to me a lot about decentralized finance. And before working in tech, I worked in finance. And when he started talking to me about concepts around you can stake tokens and then earn yield, and I was thinking, oh, this is really interesting. These guys seem to be really trying to disrupt the finance industry. So that spooked my curiosity because I was thinking, how what are these crypto guys doing in comparison to disrupting traditional finance? So that started the interest. And then off the back of researching into DeFi, I discovered the concept of what tokens are, how projects can release tokens. And then I came across the world of fan tokens with Socios, who are doing tokens for sports teams. And I just kept going deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole. But it was really the finance that got me into the industry, actually, the DeFi side.
Coming from, I'm somebody who's not really in it. I haven't been into finance before I graduated as a nurse, right? So very, very far from finance. And coming from my perspective, of course, I when I started, I didn't know what makes finance, traditional finance, different from crypto. What's the you mentioned it was your trigger, right, going into this crypto, knowing about staking and things like that. What made you think that, okay, this is a different beast, this traditional finance versus crypto finance, it's a different thing?
And that's I really appreciate that question because for me there was three big triggers for Dex. The first one was like with many industries, there's always a middleman that you happen to have to deal with. But what crypto does, especially if you think about the concept of a decentralized exchange, and I apologize to the audience if I'm getting a bit too nerdy for everybody, but I think Dex's audience, you guys are all quite sophisticated. So a decentralized exchange acts as the middleman between two people who want to swap and trade a token with each other. Whereas in traditional markets, you need a market maker, you need somebody, a company, a broker in the middle who facilitates the trading of transactions. So I thought, interesting. There's this thing called an automated market maker that the DeFi world has created, where you're basically, instead of having to trade via a person, there's a smart contract that holds the tokens essentially. So you can put some tokens in and get some other ones out and vice versa. So that was really interesting. And the other one worth mentioning is, in traditional finance, if you want to take a company public, like via an IPO, for example, right, that process is extremely expensive, time consuming, lawyers, accountants, 6 to 18 months, very, very long process. Now, not to say crypto tokens are like securities because depending on how you structure them, most of them aren't. They're more utility tokens. But if a company within crypto wanted to create a publicly listed company, if you will, via a token offering, then it's very quick to do that. You can get a token created, some design around it, tokenomics done within a week, and off you go. So that was a mind blower for me because once again, if you do an IPO in traditional finance, it costs millions of dollars to hundreds of thousands of dollars, 6 to 18 months. So those two things really stood out to me.
So in a sense, if I'm reading between the lines, what I'm understanding is with web 3.0, the regular guys, the people who are far away from each other across the globe, living in their own home could, start something big within Web 3.0 without having to go through the hurdles of what you were mentioning a while ago. Long time of waiting, big money to spend just to get started. And that's amazing, what Web 3.0 brings. What else do you think is Web 3.0 bringing right now to regular folks?
So I think Dex, what a big trend in our industry is if you look at the world of NFTs, for example, at the moment we're in a time in history, and everyone who is on this call together here with us today, we are all early adopters. We are pioneers. We're in that phase where we can look back at this time 5 years ahead and talk about and laugh about the times when crypto was like this, when we're going through like this interesting market, when certain UI UX for that dApps we use weren't the best. We were so early in this journey, and when I look at NFTs and the different use cases, for example, and your specialty Dex is around NFT gaming, right? If you look at what gaming is doing for the world of crypto. And I think it's going to be one of the biggest use cases to bring in the masses because, if you can design a fun playing game that has the user the ability to own the in-game assets, that is a very new paradigm shift, right? For in comparison to traditional gaming. I think the other big thing is when you think of Web3, we all have to have these things called wallets. So most people have set up something like a MetaMask account. And this wallet that we connect onto the different dApps we use as we move around the Web3 ecosystem, that is the wallet that we use to connect to all of these different apps and sites. So over time, instead of having to have a separate Facebook account, separate Gmail account, separate Instagram account, all these different Twitter accounts, there's all these different usernames, passwords. Some have to make passwords this way, another one that way. All of that stuff over time could go away, and all we could really need is just our own crypto wallet, and we just carry that around everywhere we go, and we connect onto different dApps and applications, right? As we travel through the ecosystem. So how that affects the world of marketing, how that affects the world of people being able to look at our wallet, even just our friends and people who interact with us. What's in Dexter's wallet? What type of NFTs does he hold? What types of does he have some charity NFTs? Does he have some gaming NFTs? What does he have some social tokens? You can start to really learn about each other over time if our wallet becomes sort of our internet profile that we use to travel around the blockchain.
I mean, that's really really amazing how you put it that way. It's putting power to a lot of stuff, and I could just imagine the future wherein things are facilitated with lesser friction. And when I say lesser friction, it means lesser channels to that's meddling, lesser middlemans for everybody, lesser time to wait. In the end, it's an era. When you say, when you mention that we are early on in this phase, it's an era that's really exciting, in my opinion. And Mike here is saying from our audience, shout out by the way to Boss Mike. He's also a YouTuber, and indeed, gaming era is now changing. I agree with you, Sir Anthony. So yeah.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Agreed.
All right, let's talk about crypto right now. You mentioned you've been in the finance industry before as well, the traditional side of it. And right now, it's no secret that we are having what we call, I don't know, would you call this a bear market that we're experiencing, knowing that Bitcoin has dipped below 30K and altcoins are following?
Yeah, and as everyone should know, Dex and I, this is not financial advice. This is just two people having a chat and figuring out and just brainstorming what's going on here. So I think Dex, with this, so it's clear that no one has a perfect crystal ball, right? No one knows exactly what's going to happen. The markets could start dead cat bouncing tomorrow, and then off we go. Well, I do think though that there are a couple of factors that have come together, including the Terra Luna UST collapse,
Mhm.
alongside the war in Ukraine, supply chain crises, the lockdowns in China. All these things are just coming together right at the same time, and just it's a bit of a tsunami, right, like a black swan event. So, so how long or bad this market gets is anyone's guess, but it's probably going to be a market that is not going to recover very fast, in my opinion. So how long are we in a bear market for? Once again, who knows? Maybe we have to buckle down for another, few months. Some people are saying 3 months, 6 months, 18 months. But I think the important thing to mention is it's not just crypto that's getting affected at the moment. If you guys look at lots of technology stocks, for example, right, especially a lot of the stocks that gained a lot of price action in during COVID, like Peloton and Netflix and all Disney, all these big companies have been really affected, right? 50% plus in some cases. And now there's talk of the property markets around the world getting affected as well, because right now the governments of the world, because our interest rates across the economies are so low, they have to figure out a way to increase interest rates to try to bring down the cost of living, because cost of living, everything's becoming more expensive through inflation and the consumer price index, CPI. So one of the tools that the Federal Reserves always had when prices of things kept increasing is they used to raise interest rates so that borrowing money became more expensive, and the people thought, okay, if this money costs more to borrow, then I want to borrow less, so I'll spend less, and then therefore the cost of things came down. But the problem is, if they raise interest rates too much, and they've already started raising the rates, then it's going to put a lot of people who have a lot of debt in trouble, because a lot of people are paying off homes, a lot of people have credit card loans, a lot of people have personal loans. So it's like this, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. If they raise the rates too much, then normal households will no longer have positive situation where they're going to spend more money than they are earning, and that creates big problems. So in my opinion, if the market and economy starts to get very bad, I think the Federal Reserve banks of the world will realize, if we keep raising interest rates, we are going to destroy the economy, right? And I don't know if they're going to be able to handle that pressure, or because maybe we do need to sort of clean out the economy out a little bit. Maybe there's no choice, because at some point the show's going to stop, right? So they have to fix it at some point. But I think they'll probably realize, let's like sort of take our foot off the pedal, and maybe not raise interest rates as fast. Maybe they'll go back to printing money, which then will balance the market. So let's see. Once again, no one knows what's going to happen, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Federal Reserve, within the next few months, stops raising rates. But we'll see.
I see, I see. So basically, what's happening right now within crypto is something that we could say that is still not far away, or cut off from what's happening in the real world, right?
That's right. That's right. So crypto originally, guys, was always seen as an asset, like sort of asset class that lived in its own area. So it wasn't really connected with stocks. So if stocks went up, crypto would just do its own thing. However, fortunately or unfortunately, crypto is now heavily correlated with stocks because it's regarded as a risk asset, as they call it. So basically, right now, it's following more or less the trends of what's happening with stocks, and that's become connected. In having said this, this is all sort of not so positive news, but on the positive, if you guys think about it, back in the day, right, in previous bear markets and crypto winters, the amount Bitcoin dropped was like down to say 3,000, right, in the last serious bear winter. And I very, very would be it's very unlikely for those levels to ever be seen again. And I say that because every time the time, like the years pass, more and more people enter crypto, more and more people buy it, including big institutions, the people who have billions, tens of billions, even trillions of dollars of assets under their management. They're all buying in a little bit of crypto. So that always raises the minimum floor, right, for everyone. So the markets go up and down. That's a fact of life, right? Every 7 years, 7, 8 years or so, we can't prevent that, guys. It's just always been like that. But the good news for us crypto people is every time the bear market comes, as long as the minimum level it drops to gets higher each time, that's what we're seeing at the moment. Now, no one can predict the price of anything, but once again, I'll be very surprised if Bitcoin reached anywhere near $3,000 again, like we saw in the previous crypto winter.
That's really really interesting that you mentioned that. Okay. Since I'm really enjoying your background coming from, traditional finance, one question. Is there anything that, you would say you have integrated into the crypto world, a knowledge or a practice that came from your, traditional finance that, hey, I think this is pretty cool to carry over here at the crypto finance world?
I think a big thing, Dex, is when you release a token of some sort, let's just say there's like a DAO community that got created, and the DAO community has its own mission, its own values, its own goals that it's trying to achieve. It's really important, even from traditional finance, where when you are, say, doing an IPO, there needs to be a good story, right? A genuine story that is backed by track record. People can sort of look the people up and see what have they done in the past, what's their history, and is this story that they've put together as to why they're releasing these tokens to help the community as a utility token and so forth. There's that very similar theme, and I think that stands out to me because us as humans, we connect with others around stories, right? It's almost like a universal human condition where stories really impact us. So in traditional finance, when a company is going out trying to raise money, no matter what industry they're in, whether a tech company or a pharmaceutical company or some manufacturing company, you need to have a good story, right? To show to investors why should you buy my stocks. Similar to crypto, if you launch a crypto project as a utility token, you have to present to your community and prospective token buyers, hey guys, we have this token because we've got this big mission we're trying to achieve together. And if you buy this token, you are going to get access to all of these benefits and perks that we're going to offer. So there's a very strong parallel and similarity there, Dex.
Awesome, awesome. So, yeah, what the patterns that I'm receiving right now that I am understanding is that we cannot really live in a world wherein the learnings, the stuff that we have learned from our traditional life, Web 2, Web 1, the real world right now, the learnings that have been made by the community. Because whether or not it's Web 2.0 or Web 3.0, there will always be a community. Whether or not it's internet, whether or not we're back in the Stone Age, right? There would always be communities interacting with each other, and these communities would be the driving force to great changes in the world. Because one person couldn't change it. We would be living in this world if we just relied on one person's efforts, right? So I guess the collective knowledge of a community, the collective efforts of a community, is the clue here that I'm trying to integrate in this conversation. And it's talking about community and having IPOs in traditional finance. Where does you know where does the strength of having a community come in right now that here in Web 3.0, a lot of people are connected to their computers, to the internet? And yeah, where does the power of a community come in right now?
Dex, I think you honestly have hit the nail on the head there because Web3, the whole thing that powers it is the community. And when we speak to different business owners and brand owners, we say to them, if you think about Web 2 was a system that we live in now where, for example, Facebook or Instagram offered you a free account. Sign up, guys, it's free, use it. But really, what ended up happening was everyone who uses Instagram, when Instagram was 1 day old, there was nothing on the platform, no photos, no nothing. Now, all these years later, all these users have come on, and basically, we have helped build Instagram with Instagram, right? All of our content, all of our posts, all of the network effects. So, and that's fine, right? The sort of trade was free account, free platform will bring you guys all together, but we want your data. We want your user activity because we want to then sell what you guys do to our advertisers. And we're going to flood your feed with all these sponsored posts, basically, right? So that was kind of the Web 2 model. Web 3 is the next evolution of that. And one way that it evolves is we were the free product for Instagram, but with Web3, we as a user of a product can now earn the project's tokens or buy the project's tokens. So then we now become a user, an investor, and a community member, sort of all in one. And if the project owner allows the token holders to be able to vote on the future direction of the app, for example, then you also feel like you're a sort of board member, or you're really part of the community. So community is all about Web3. And one thing that I say to executives, right, is you have to focus on how you can start building a Web3 brand presence and community. Because at the moment, if you look at the younger generation, right? So I'm part of the millennial generation. I'm a Gen Y, but the generation after the millennials are Gen Z, right? Gen Z, and then Gen A are the sort of 9-year olds and under. The reason why I'm bringing this up is Gen Z, especially the younger ones now, they have grown up watching YouTube, and right, and they have grown up playing games like Minecraft, Roblox, stuff like that, right? So for the younger kids these days, for them, having a digital avatar in like a game world, like Roblox, for example, um, and growing up watching influencers on YouTube who they really look up to, like such as Dexter, right? They want to be influencers now, right? Like back 20 years ago, if you asked a kid, hey, what do you want to be? You'd hear like astronaut or firefighter or something like that, right? And now apparently what the kids are saying, right? You hear this all the time, is they want to be a YouTube influencer or an Instagram influencer, right? So the world's changing, guys. This is how the world changed. So how does this relate to the brands? The brand's biggest customer base as Generation Z starts to grow up, the way they think is very different, right? They're used to joining games like Minecraft and Roblox and building things with their friends and having nice avatars and spending virtual currency to buy virtual goods. Like that's normal for them, right? And I heard on a podcast recently, the guy said, um, one way to know where society is going is what your kids ask you to buy them for Christmas, right? And he was saying he asked his kids, what do you want? And they wanted Roblox credits, basically, right? And
Speaking of Roblox, it
yeah.
you hit it in the nail, bro. I have a kid, right?
Mhm.
And for the past like 2 or 3 days, like, can I have Robux? That's their coin, their
Mhm.
currency. Like, can I have Robux? Can I have Robux? I'm a free to play player. I grew up as a free to play player, and now my kid is like, yeah, she even wants to pay it with her own money. Like, just pay it for me. Here's my money.
Right,
Something like that.
exactly.
So yeah, it's really really normal for them, and I think it may sound, I mean, I'm not that old, but it's still weird for me sometimes,
Mhm.
to hear that from kids. Like, okay, they want this these skins that you mentioned, these avatars. What are you gonna do with that Robux? I just want to buy an egg, and that's okay. Okay.
Right, right. I
Sorry.
see. Yeah, so that's the world we live in now, guys. And obviously, is it right now? No, but there's around 300 million players playing Roblox, Fortnite, and Minecraft. Just those three games is around 300 million players. And as that generation keeps growing up, more and more people are going to join that world. So they're very used to game worlds, right? And the big push right now in Web3 also is the metaverse. You guys would have heard Facebook rebranded their parent company to Meta. Instagram are utilizing NFT functionality. You've got big consulting companies like Accenture building 150,000 metaverse divisions. So this metaverse stuff is starting to become much more mainstream. And when you think of the metaverse, a lot of people naturally think things like virtual reality, where you wear the goggles and you're just fully immersed. What I think is going to happen realistically is uh, augmented reality, so AR. So AR, if you guys remember Pokemon Go, where like people had the mobile phones and they were trying to catch Pokemon, right? You had to view the Pokemon Go world through your phone, right, through the lens of the camera. So what you have, you've got like Apple, for example, they're building their own AR smart glasses. You've got Samsung, you've got Microsoft, you got all these big brands, Snapchat, they're all building their own uh, glasses for AR. So, and this is not far away. This is 2 years away, guys, where these biggest brands are developing billions of dollars worth of these things. So, what I think is going to happen is we're going to start getting these glasses, And when we put them on, it's going to be like a mixed reality experience, meaning we're going to, if you put the sunglasses on, you can see everything you normally would, but you can start customizing your screen like it's a computer screen. You know, you can put the weather in the corner there, the calendar here. Someone calls you, you might be able to look at it and he picks the phone up, stuff like that. And then obviously, if I look at Dexter, I might be able to see him and wear like a nice NFT digital wearable that he's bought, right? So I can see Dexter wear that, but I can see his face like normal as well. So this is where this whole metaverse world is going to kick off. Is I think is on the AR side, and then as that quality gets better, as the technology gets better, we are going to eventually move towards more advanced headsets and so forth.
Interesting. That's really really something I'm looking forward to. Augmented reality.
Mhm.
Joshua Allen here is saying, I'll just translate it for you. You know, kids where he is right now. Joshua is saying are earning with Roblox. Like what?
Really, right?
WTF? And that's what he's saying. All right. Let's go back. So we've talked about finance. We've talked about community. We've talked about DAO community building. Now the question is, let's put it back to BitFans. Um, this is like more of a personal question coming from me going to you, because uh before we didn't know each other, but through BitFans, we are able to exchange, communicate, and talk to each other behind the scenes as well. So question is, what do you think is the advantage um for somebody, for people, for example, who are watching right now in our stream? These people who are watching could probably be divided into two categories. Some people
Mhm.
who've been, into crypto for a long time, and some people who are just coming into crypto very, very fresh. So,
Okay.
what is the importance of belonging to a group, for example, or being part of a DAO? Uh, just like what BitFans is facilitating right now.
Mhm. So I think we all desire as people to sort of find our people, our tribe of people. Like we're wired within us to find like-minded people who share similar values and have a similar sort of vibe to us. So what I really appreciate about Web3 and crypto is when everyone was going through COVID, right? We're all locked in. And basically everyone was on the internet, right? And that was like the way, besides the direct family members you live with, everyone else was connecting through their friends with their friends on the internet. So that really helped accelerate and evolve the digital worlds, digital communities. So a DAO is basically a digital community where and there's different DAOs out there. So the important thing is you've got to find a community that is related to your interests. So obviously, a lot of the people on this Cordex relate to you. They connect with your brand, what you represent, the things you talk about. So this is already one community, right? That exists. So the importance of a DAO community is you join, you see what they're about, what values they have, gain, give back, so forth, right? And if it matches with you, you can come in. And the good thing is, chances are, if you like the story that one DAO presents about what they're trying to achieve, and other people join, they probably have similar values to you, right? There's like a filtering process where if you see the mission of one DAO and it doesn't resonate, you won't join. But if you see another one and you like it, you'll join. So then other people who join you can become, friends, right? You can network, you can meet people, you can learn from each other, do things with each other, do businesses together, just become friends with each other. So I think the future of friendships, a lot of friendships, the future of building relationships, a lot of it is going to be digital. And COVID really accelerated that and got everyone very comfortable with Zoom, Zoom sort of friendships, Zoom relationships, and it just become normal now. So I think it was always going to happen, but COVID just rapidly accelerated that change.
True, true, true. You know, prior to COVID and prior to YouTube, one of the things that I've been heavy, heavy, heavy on was, personal development before. I really hated reading while I was back. at school, while I was studying high school, even college, I wasn't really a fan of reading books. But once I graduated out of school, that's when I found the value of reading. And one of the books that I really really loved and liked was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And one of the secrets that he mentioned there is finding your tribe, joining your mastermind group,
Yes.
finding that mastermind group. And I guess like you mentioned, people getting comfortable with Zoom relationships, Zoom meetings, projects being done, projects being built through Zoom meetings, and not the traditional four corners of a wall, you huddle there and build that stuff. It's no longer like that. And yeah, right now, since we are in this in this shift, I should say, I don't know if you agree that this shift is it's gonna be hard to stop this shift unless
Mm.
the internet dies in the world, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, um we are 36 minutes into this hangout session. Guys, if you have any questions at all, this session is open for you guys. You could ask questions, and if you want to join the giveaway, check the pinned comment, it's there. Please do share the replay of this session as well. I think I've learned a lot, especially from Anthony's traditional finance background as well. So yeah, um let's talk about something that we've been talking about, the Dexter plays PH DAO.
Mhm.
Uh you know while designing this stuff, one of the things that I really attracted me to this idea is that we could really build is that mastermind group and facilitate it here, wherein people, like-minded people, crypto enthusiasts plus gaming enthusiasts could get in together. So yeah, could you tell us a little bit more about how you see this kind of stuff evolving, and how, especially how this kind of DAOs would help out other people?
Absolutely. So, and one of the secrets in life that I found, guys, and this is not my original thought, it's just you learn this, is who you surround yourself with, the network. We've all heard the whole, hang around five millionaires, you become the sixth millionaire. Hang around five people who do drugs, you'll be the sixth. It's like we are influenced by who is around us, consciously and subconsciously. So mastermind groups, as Dex referenced in the Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, which is a great book that I've loved as well, is when you bring together a group of high quality people who are there, who are happy to add value, gain, and give back, right? That whole system, then amazing things can happen. Even with the information you can share with each other, people you can introduce to each other, things that you can learn, projects that you can start together. So with Dexter's DAO, Dexter already had built a very good community of people, particularly who are involved and like various gaming sort of categories, and most recently NFT gaming. So we thought there's some very high quality people in this group. So we've decided to put together a Genesis NFT collection for Dexter Plays PH DAO. And it's going to be a very small club at the beginning. It's just going to be a group of 100 maximum people who are going to be able to join the the VIP mastermind group. And the goal with the mastermind group is to bring in some very high quality people where people know that if they're joining this group, we are there to add value to each other, help each other, try to do things with each other and learn from each other. So every month we're going to try bring, some very high quality people, Dex, myself, other people from the BitFans ecosystem and Dex's network. So we're going to bring in various people once a month to come in to chat to the group. And we're going to make it so that it's a very active group where we're there to try to talk with each other, help each other, network with each other.
True, true, true. One of the things I really want to make uh from this, make I want to come out from this group is that we do gain, we gain, but we still give back. And going back to last year, I think it was October, wherein I decided to do a 10-hour charity stream for victims of this typhoon, and I had really not expected that it would turn out that way. Because before I was just thinking that we could get something, a little bit of amount, because I was thinking it's gonna be me who's gonna be donating. So I was like, okay, I'll be able to donate. But when we did a 10-hour charity stream, it was actually the community that made it really really successful, and we were able to really give a substantial amount and help lots of people, to the thousands, and it's because of community. So yeah, I'm really looking at this uh group. Once we get a grasp of this group, have this group to have embody that thing. We want to game, we want to have fun, we want to enjoy this crypto world, and we want to gain as well, of course, through the help of each other, through the ideas from one another, through the signals of each other, through the advice of each other. And at the end of the day, want to create something significant that's not that helps other people, that helps people outside our comfort zone. And yeah, we give back. That's how I'm looking at this thing. Anyway, Anthony, do you have anything else you would like to tell the people right now? So right now we just went online to give people some thoughts, crypto hangout session.
Sure.
Anything you would like to tell them?
Yeah. So, guys, in terms of just anyone who was invested in the markets and are seeing lots of red candles these days, just keep your head up. It's okay. Ups and downs always happen in market cycles, and just know that crypto and blockchain and Web3 technology, from all the people I've spoken with, I've had the great privilege of speaking with some very high level people in different areas. All the research that I've done, this industry is going to completely change the world. Web3 tokens, NFTs, DAOs, Metaverse. It's going to be the new way to connect with your community and build relationships for the future. So try to think to the best of your ability as long term as possible, because this industry will become massive. And in terms of Dexter plays DAOs, we are going to build, we're going to keep working on building the community, and we want to try to add as much value as possible to the NFT holders. More information will be released on that soon. But really, the goal is we want to find, 100 very high quality people to join the initial mastermind group. There's all these other perks that we're going to offer and add. So stay tuned, guys. More information on that coming soon.
Yeah. So if you guys are, interested to know more about this stuff and be the first to really know when this is coming up, or when things are gonna be more interesting or more action packed, just join our Discord group. Yeah, we'll be dropping information about that. And before we end, of course, okay, before we end, of course, I'd like to share something that I saw my friend post. It's an article from a newspaper dated 2000. Okay, December 5, 2000. That's, if you think about it, that's not too far away from year 2022, right? That's like 20 plus years. And just look at this. Internet may be just a passing fad as millions give up on it. So that's, would you imagine this statement being posted right now? How much flack are you gonna get if you post this right now? Because we all use the internet, right? So yeah, the reason I'm showing this image to you guys is, um we are at the stage wherein we want to learn more about Web3, and having a mastermind group to exchange ideas, to bounce ideas in a safe environment. That's the important stuff there. Safe environment, because you can share ideas to just anybody else. You just don't know if you are at a safe environment. Because sometimes you share an idea. Let's say you were here, year 2000, and you just heard about internet, and you just heard about, an opportunity to invest on the internet, something on the internet, and you share it to other people, not knowing that these people just drag the idea down. Like, hey, what's internet? Just pass, let it pass. It's just a fad. And you don't, you know, you didn't do more research, just, let that negative people plant that seed of doubt in your mind that internet is just a fad. Well, that's the danger. That's why I would really love, like, personally, I would really love to be a part of a mastermind group that would be a safe place to share ideas, a safe place to discuss stuff like this. So yeah, Bunsky is saying here something. So overall economy is down right now, just like before. It will always bounce back, even crypto. So that's from Bunsky. Good evening, Cian, Orpilia, and Mavis SEO SEO. Anyway, yeah, I guess that's my final message, guys. Some people have thought that internet was a fad, yeah, just a fad. And probably some people you're talking to right now outside safe environment would be saying that, Web3 is just another fad. Well, who knows, right? Who knows? So just put that in mind. Anyway, I guess that's it for now, guys. We don't have any questions. So Anthony, a parting message for our people.
Yeah, so thank you, Dex, for bringing that internet reference up because whenever a new technology gets introduced to the world, even if it was like remember, guys, back in the day, we had mobile phones, but they were not smartphones. They were just the basic Nokia ones that you played black and white Snake on, right? So, for all those old enough for that. But then smartphones came and it took a very long time for a lot of people to get comfortable using smartphones. Anyone who has older parents who might be in their 50, 60, 70 years old, you have a lot of 50, 60 year old people using smartphones now. It took them a while, but they got there. What that Why that links to what we're doing here in crypto and blockchain, NFTs, Web3 is the more sophisticated, the more comfortable the world gets with using technologies, the faster they adapt newer ones that come because your base level is already like increasing, right, each time. So just stay patient. Web3, once again, in my opinion, is going to be massive. And if you don't believe me, just look at the biggest brands in the world, jumping into it. You've seen Coca-Cola, McDonald's, you see Starbucks now. These are some of the biggest brands, right? Top 100 brands in the world. Gucci, Balenciaga, all these companies are jumping in, and you just have to ask yourself why, right? These brands have a lot of data, they have a lot of insight, they have a lot of connections, and you got to take my word on this. These people do their research before they jump into anything like this, such as Facebook, for example. They do their research, and when you see Meta, Facebook now Meta, do go into Web3 and Metaverse, how hard they've been doing. Just know that the amount of data that they have on us and how well they understand consumer behavior, with the billions of people that they've been studying for the last, 10 plus years. Um, if you read between the lines, as Dex mentioned earlier, that should tell you a lot. So just stay in there, be patient, try to think long term, and build and support and contribute, and stay tuned, guys, for the upcoming Genesis first ever NFT drop for the Dexter's community. We're going to make a jam packed and a good one. Only 100 NFTs available, and we'll provide some more information on that soon.
And yeah, of course, we are giving away one NFT. And we have that giveaway link in the pinned comment. So make sure you guys join the giveaway. We're running it for a week. Share it to your friends so that they too have a chance to get access to that DAO. That's what plays PH DAO. Yeah, I'll see you again next time. Peace and much love. This is Dexter, and of course, Anthony with us. Keep on gaming, and keep on giving.